What's going on, YouTube? Today I bring you my inside offensive lineman rankings for the 2022 NFL Draft. Without further ado, let's get into it. Starting out with my number one guy, I have Tyler Linderbaum. I feel like this is kind of everyone's consensus number one guy. Dude's very athletic. That's one thing I definitely got wrong about my mock draft from a couple weeks ago. He's very athletic. Also has got a really nice stance as well. It just overall looks more of like a NFL ready type guy. And he's also really got that mentality. I think he, like I said, he feels like one of the more NFL ready guys to me. He's still a bit raw in some ways, but overall, I think he's gotten it down really quickly, really well. And where he lacks is, he's not the most powerful guy in the world. He's not the fastest guy in the world. And obviously I'm comparing this to other inside offensive linemen, but he's still not powerful and he's not slow, but I just think with a guy like this that really doesn't have many weaknesses, these are probably the ones you can think of. Otherwise, I mean, as an inside offensive lineman, I have him as a top 15 player right now, so obviously he's really, really good. So I do really like Tyler Linderbaum. Number two, we have Ikem Ekwonu. No, it's Ekwonu. Forgot K there. Ikem Ekwonu out of North Carolina State. He's got really nice size, obviously. He's very athletic and also has really nice power to his game. The thing about Ekwonu is that he's also pretty versatile. He was playing tackle, I believe. Either he's switching to tackle or he used to play tackle. Regardless, he's playing guard now, but he could switch to tackle if he really wanted to because he does have that versatility. His hands definitely could use a little bit of work. There are certain plays where guys just kind of mangle him around because he just doesn't put his hands in the right place, and also the mentality, just more of certain things of even just down to where should I block this guy to create a hole. Just sometimes fails at those things. He's still a young guy. He's only in his junior year there at NC State. So I still really like the upside. I wouldn't be surprised if he came back for his senior year, but I really like Ikem Ekwonu. I love his versatility. Besides Jamari Sawyer, I feel like he's probably the second most versatile guy in this class. So yeah, he's my number two. Number three, we have Zion Johnson at Boston College, another guy with pretty nice size. Now he's a super senior. He's in his fifth year here at Boston College. If he was a redshirt freshman, let me know down below. But things about him, obviously, because he is in his fifth year and stuff. He's got experience. He's very consistent, and he's got probably the best mentality of where should I block this guy? Can I pick this guy up? He's a very smart and experienced pass blocker. Just being that he's not crazy physical. His power kind of suffers. His athleticism is kind of not where you want it to be. The thing is if he was a bit more physically gifted, this guy would pretty easily be the number one in this class because he is that smart of a guard. He can play center too if he really wanted to. He is that smart. It's just kind of his physical traits that hold him down a little bit. So if he shows me that he can play with more power or athleticism than he has, then he could definitely be number two. Unless Tyler Linderbaum has a bad year, I don't see him being number one. But still, I really like Zion Johnson. Number four, we have Cade Mays out of Tennessee. This is a guy that, is kind of interesting because, he's never really had that great of a year at Tennessee. I'm rallying. I think he'll break out here in his senior year. He kind of has to, obviously. He's got really, really nice size. If you look at all the intangibles, Cade Mays has it all. For a guard, he's got incredible size. He's got great power to his game, and overall as a pass blocker, he's just really, really good. Where he suffers is that kind of typical big guard build. Is he doesn't have athleticism. His stance isn't the best in the world. His hand placement can be pretty off at times. There's a lot of him that just shouts raw. He's still very obviously not the number 4 guard in this class yet. This is sort of prediction, sort of right now. I think he'll break out this year. I really do like Cade Mays. I think at best he'll probably be a early second round pick, but that just depends on if he breaks out or not. Because again, he has all the intangibles. He has the size, he has the power, he has the pass blocking. It's just he really needs to fix some of his other things because he's really unathletic and his stance can really suffer at times. So I have him at 4 right now. Could rise, could fall. We'll have to see. Number 5, we have Alec Lindstrom from also Boston College. Yeah, if you didn't notice, Boston College is a very, very good offensive line, which is part of why I'm a little hesitant about Phil Jerkovich, because he has such a good offensive line. 6'3", 295, so he's kind of a bit undersized for a guard. And he lacks that like sort of raw power. He can play pretty strong, but he doesn't have that power. So luckily he sometimes does play with a bit more than he has, but and also consistency. Like there are a few plays where it's just like, what was that? But otherwise, like he overall all around like is a very, very good blocker. Pass and run blocking is both really nice, and he's also super athletic. So that undersized bit comes into a bit of an advantage. As a senior here at Boston College, I think if he can show me like a bit more consistency, he could be number 432. For right now, he's 5, just because I want to see a bit more consistency, and I want to see that the size won't be anything like a big issue at all in the NFL. But we'll have to see. So I have him here at number 5. I know a lot of people really like him though. Number 6, we have Jarrett Patterson out of Notre Dame. 6'4", 305, he's 21 in his senior year here at Notre Dame. Run blocking is immediately the thing that popped out to me. He's a very, very good run blocker. That's part of why Kyron Williams kind of has such free range over there. Super athletic as well, and overall, he's just a smart blocker. Thing with Jarrett Patterson is that his power and his stance like really suck. This is another guy that I know a lot of people love. He kind of has this cult following of like some people think like he's the best guy in this class, because I've seen that from a few people, and like his power and like just overall his stance, like the way he just kind of sets himself when he's blocking, it's not good. As a run blocker, like he's athletic, he's smart, he's a very, very good run blocker. But like when it comes to like pass blocking, like holding that position and stuff, like he sucks like really bad. I mean, he's a big reason why Ian Book had to be running a lot, honestly. And he had some very good people around him to help him a bit. So now that Robert Hainsey, and I think there was one other Notre Dame guy that left this year, we'll have to see how he holds up. If I had to bet on him rising or falling, to be honest, I'd bet on him falling right now. As a run blocker, he's maybe the best in the class, but pass blocking is a bit of an issue. Number 7, we have O'Cyrus Torrence out of Louisiana. This is my deep sleeper from this class. I really like O'Cyrus Torrence. He has really nice size, 6'5", 332. And he's kind of that typical build, He has incredible size, and so coming with that, he's got incredible power to his game. He's a very, very good run blocker. I mean, this guy creates holes like it's his job, because it is. But he's very, very good at it. And of course, like I just said, because of that build, he's not athletic and, definitely doesn't have speed for like, he's not going to block much for you, like on an outside run, but like up the middle, like good luck, getting past this guy to the running back or quarterback. Of course, in Louisiana, you're not playing the best competition. I haven't looked at their schedule, but I'm like pretty sure that the Ragin' Cajuns aren't playing anyone special. If they are, then great. We'll get to see how he holds up against a good pass rusher. But that's stuff to be worried about. But like beyond like those 3 things, this guy really has it all. And so I really do like this guy. He's my deep sleeper right now. So keep an eye on O'Cyrus Torrence. Number 8, we have Emil Ekiyor Jr., I believe is how you say it, out of Alabama. 6'3", 324 in his junior year. Again, great run blocker, and he's actually got really nice hand placement. That's part of why he's such a great run blocker, is he's able to just kind of push guys because, like, he's got such great hand placement. Pass blocking is, like, kind of an issue. It's not a big issue. It's more the consistency, because he's very good most of the time, but then there's just these plays where it's just like, what are you doing? And then also similar, like there seems to be a lot of Alabama linemen that struggle with this, but like just overall his stance, the way he holds himself at the line, it needs some work. He gets sat down, or he can get sat down pretty easily. He doesn't get sat down as much as like an Evan Neal, but it's those kind of 2 red flags right there, because it's not like it's like every now and then he's letting up some dumb pass rush, or it's not like every now and then his stance has an issue. It's like pretty consistent with those 2 things. And so while he's a really good run blocker and has got really nice hand placement, I feel like those are his only strengths, and these weaknesses are pretty big red flags. So that's what drops him down to 8 for me. But again, if he, fixes up some of these weaknesses, if he, can just work on a few other things, he could very well rise up this list. But for right now, I have him at number 8. Number 9, we have Josh Sills out of Ohio State. God. Oklahoma State, Jesus. 6'6", 325. One of the biggest guys in this class. Really nice size, obviously. And with that, naturally, he's a great power blocking guy. But sort of similar to Tevin Jenkins, this guy is a pretty phenomenal run blocker. Unlike Tevin Jenkins, you're going to be looking more for like up the middle blocking from him because he's a guard. He's not very fast. He's not athletic at all. So, like I said, he's not going to be able to do the I'm forgetting what it's called, but like where they leave their zone and like go over there to block. Like he's not going to be able to do that. But as a straight up like stay where he is, make a hole, he's very, very good at that. But like I said, obviously athleticism, speed lacking, also pass blocking. Maybe I just saw some bad tape, but he looked pretty bad in the little bit that I saw from him. So we'll have to see about that. I think that Oklahoma State line was held up really, really well by Tevin Jenkins. So we'll have to see how he deals kind of without Tevin Jenkins now. He's a very similar player in a lot of ways, but I think Tevin Jenkins was definitely a much better pass blocker. So, and already being a guard, you're hoping that these intangibles kind of just work out there. So Josh Sills at number 9. And then number 10, we have Doug Kramer out of Illinois. He's fifth year as well, 23 years old already, 6'2", 300. It's a weird prospect to me because on the one hand, he's another great run blocker, and he's actually very athletic and speedy, unlike some of these other guys. He's a guy that can, block on the outside as well as the inside. And even though he lacks from that power and that size, he actually is still a pretty decent, up the middle guy. Where he really lacks is, at the end of the day, he's still not the best power blocker, and the size is a little bit worrying, 300 or whatever, but, he's 6'2". Some of those bigger pass rushers might just have their way with him. Because if you're gonna say maybe he's a better fit on Aaron Donald, I don't think that's the case. I don't think Doug Kramer's gonna hold up against Aaron Donald, who's the only small pass rusher I can think off the top of my head that's dominant like that. So, and then pass blocking, it's not where it needs to be. That's really at the end of the day what drops him down to 10. Besides the size, is just the fact that he's not a good pass blocker. He's a very, very good run blocker, maybe the best run blocker in the class, to be honest. He's very, like I said, he's just speedy and athletic, so he just gets up there and pushes guys. But as a pass blocker, kind of concerned. So he could rise, he could fall. We'll have to see. But he's at my number 10. And then just some other notable guys. Justin Schaefer out of Georgia, another strictly a run blocker, nothing else. Thing with Justin Schaefer is I don't feel like he's the best run blocker in this class, and he's a really, really, really bad pass blocker. So I kind of just have him as a take note in these guys. Ed Ingram out of LSU, I kind of just want to see him return to his form. He's not really been the same since that one great year he had. So I just kind of looking for that from him. And then Alex Forsythe out of Oregon, just seems like another guy to keep your eye on. We'll see how he holds up without Penei Sewell in there and stuff. He could play great, but I don't really see him playing great. He's more of a kind of just a rock, and that's it to me. He does good at his position, but not much else. He does good where he is, but he's not much more than else than that. So, but that is the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see all you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.